How's it going? This is Hoiman, and this week overall has been okay. So for the most part, I've still been continuing my book. I'm currently on chapter 8, and I mentioned a few weeks ago that I plan to extend my book just because I've been having new ideas come in. And this is pretty much the main chapter where I'm going to have to make the most changes. Because chapter 8 was originally the final chapter, because I'm extending it, I'm going to have to make quite a few changes and then add a few more chapters after that. So overall it's going quite slow because there's quite a bit to change throughout the book, but overall I think it's going well for the most part. I also did go out for a little walk yesterday in the local park, and I thought it was okay for the most part. The weather was quite nice, even though it was still a little bit cold. But I was a bit disappointed to see that most people who I walked past down there wasn't really following the social distancing rules that well. Like, most of them wouldn't really allow me space to walk past, or didn't really keep distancing as they walk past me. So it's still a bit of a shame and disappointed to see that a lot of people still aren't really following the rules that well, but I did my part and kept my distance, so that's all I can really do really. And then as I was sitting on a bench after my walk, my cousin actually came round for a walk as well. And we didn't plan it or anything, but he basically sat down next to me, keeping safe distance, and we just talked really. Like, it's been quite a lot of months since we've seen each other, so it was definitely very nice and relieving to see him in person again and just kind of catch up on things really. So it was especially nice to speak to someone in person again outside the house, because being in lockdown has been really isolating for pretty much everyone. So it's definitely a nice change of pace to talk to a cousin of mine. For the most part it's been okay, around the same kind of mood I feel. But there was one day, I think it was on Wednesday, on that day I did particularly feel negative in myself, not in terms of feeling low in my mood, but I just wasn't quite feeling myself, and I was just feeling really negative and just looking or just thinking or watching like TV and stuff, just like anything. It just kind of annoyed me, and even just talking to my mum and stuff, I just felt really annoyed and just wasn't really feeling myself, and I just had a really negative outlook on pretty much everything. So it's nothing that really triggers it, it just happens for no reason really, and it's not really something I can control. So I do get this feeling on occasion, and what I usually do to kind of tackle it, I just kind of stay in my room for the most part and just kind of let the mood pass really. And I just kind of distance myself because I don't want to say or do anything rude that to my mum that I'd regret. So I just kind of isolate myself and just let the mood pass really. But yeah, it's overall not a great feeling to get that kind of negative feeling throughout the day, but right now I'm feeling a bit more like myself, so I'm no longer feeling really that negative like I did before, so at least that's something positive. Nothing really comes to mind. Well, I suppose next week Nintendo has announced a Pirate and Mythra presentation for Smash Bros. And basically whenever they announce a character, they like to follow up with a presentation on how the character works in the game. And as well as that, they also like to reveal me costumes, which is basically costumes that looks like other characters, but it fits over like another character. And I do get the feeling that I mentioned that I really want Lloyd to be playable in Smash, but I do get a really strong feeling that he will be revealed just as a me costume next week, so I am kind of prepared myself for that eventual possibility, so I've kind of not obsessed too much over it and just kind of not to make myself face too much disappointment if it does happen. So for the most part, I will say I am in a bit more positive mindset about the whole situation. So we'll just have to wait and see what the presentation shows, and if Lloyd does show up as a me costume, I'll be disappointed, but I won't make myself sad or depressed over it. And then if he does get revealed as a me costume, then I guess in a way that will be some relief for me, because then I'd know what Lloyd's place will be in the game, and then I can just stop wondering with all the worries and anxiety going forward. So I guess that's pretty much it for this week, so hopefully I'll see you next Saturday. That's it for this video. My name is Hoiman, and please consider subscribing, I'd really appreciate it. And remember, always look forward, keep hope alive, and remember, you're somebody.